one of the things I've had like a lot of people coming to me and asking me about is, just feeling like, oh, like I all was having all these people messaging me and all of a sudden nobody is. And like, what am I doing wrong? Or, I have these people that like I got all these orders and then like people stopped ordering. And so like one of the things like we really have to remember is like just being consistent and knowing that, we're gonna have times like that. Like we're gonna have times where it feels like everybody's like banging down our door. We can't keep up. It's like so crazy. And then there's gonna be times that it's gonna be like, is anybody out there? And I feel like those times where it feels like that, it's like a test. Cause it's like, anybody can do things when it's coming easily. And you feel like, you know, it's just so easy. You know what I mean? Like anybody can do that. So it's like whenever there are those times when we do feel like it's crickets, we do feel like nobody's interested. That's like what really separates the people who are going to be successful in this business and those who, maybe aren't meant for this in the long haul, just because this is part of it. It's part of it to like continue planting to seeds, to continue having those conversations, and I know we hear it all the time or people talk about all the time, the analogy with like a farmer, the farmers don't plant the seeds and then the next day they have crops sprouting up, and they've got to water them. They have to like take care of them, they have to like give them all the things they need. And that's kind of with our people too. Like when we're having the conversations, we got to be following up. We've got to keep posting every single day because, realistically, like posting is another way to kind of be like planting seeds, but also like nurturing those seeds that we've already planted. Because when you have those conversations with people, they're still watching you. They're still watching the post that you're putting up. So if you're posting and then you stop, well, guess what? People are going to forget about you. Like they're not going to like it's not going to be something that's on their mind. Like I was thinking about this the other day like cuz I'm so weird like with the things I think about. But it's like, McDonald's. They still have freaking commercials on TV a bajillion times a day. And like everybody knows what McDonald's is. Everybody knows what they have. And you know what I mean? But McDonald's doesn't, even though that's the case, McDonald's could probably stop with their commercials and people would still go there, right? But like McDonald's is still putting out their commercials because they know how important it is to stay in front of people, to keep sharing that, to keep pulling people in because people are watching. I always see this stuff about like one of the things, it's on Facebook, but they have like their collector cups right now. And it's like, I don't even know why. For me, I think that's cool. It's like nostalgic. Like, oh my gosh, like I remember these like cups. Like I was just telling my kids the other day because we have like these glass cups. And I don't know if anybody on here will remember them. Mandy, you might. But the glass cups that used to go to McDonald's and they were like Batman. My kids are like, why would McDonald's give away cups? I'm like, because that's the cool crap they used to do. Like,
Yep.
you used,
I remember those. We still have some
oh, yes,
I
you
still have some of the
Collections.
Disney ones.
You
yeah.
would collect
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even know how I got on, but just seeing stuff like that makes like the collector cups. I'm like, I don't even care to really eat at McDonald's. My kids love it. I don't, but like, I'm like, I want to go there just because I want to get some of those cups because I think that's cool, So again, like, McDonald's is putting out their commercials and they don't need to, but that's why like we still need to put that out there because not all of our friends are going to know to come to us if we stop posting. So that's one of the things like we've got to make sure when it feels like it's like nobody's out there, we've got to keep doing those things. And another thing is like thinking about the things that you're doing. If you feel like, okay, there was a time that I felt like things were blowing up and I couldn't even keep up with all my messages or keep up with the comments. And now it's not like that. Think about like what you were doing when you were having that experience. Like, were you doing things differently? And it might not even be big things, but you might be like, dang, like, cause even like something I'll think about is like, man, like, shoot, I was doing like a lot of self-development like a couple months ago. And I like really got away from that. And I don't, it's like, well, how would that like make a difference on any of the things that you're getting back? But I feel like it's our mindset and like our perception and the way that I'm like, handling things. And so, but just think about things that you were doing at a time where you felt like, you know, people were banging down your door. Were you doing more host to post? Were you doing more posts talking about your personal testimony? Did you feel like you were brand new when you were having that and you were just so excited and you didn't care about nothing, and now maybe you're like I'm in my head because people haven't messaged me a week and I'm not at maybe not coming off as excited. So think about those things and go back to doing what you were doing when you were, having that kind of success. Maybe you're getting on trainings all the time. Maybe you're watching more videos. Maybe like you're just having life happen. Like I know Brianna and I were just talking about this. Like last week was like really crazy. And like, for my kids, they're getting ready to go back to school next week. So I feel like there's all these like extra things that
Go potty, buddy.
week that aren't like normal. And I feel like it's a little like chaotic. And so I don't feel like I'm like
You may not
focused
have to
the
go
way I
right now.
want to, or like we had all these veggies like on our counter and I've been flipping canning and I'm like so ready to like kick the next vegetable I see because I'm sick of them. But it was like something that I like needed to do before they went bad, but it's like it took up like a lot of my time. But you know what I mean? So you also give yourself some grace, but I also know like, okay, like I got to get back to it. Like I'm not doing my host to post like I was. And I know, and I'm telling you guys this, and if you don't do host to post regularly, like, and you want to bring in some enrollments, even if you tell yourself, I'm going to commit to it the rest of this month, like seriously, like
Hey,
any
get back.
time I have wanted to make big things happen, like I do host a post. Like, and I'm serious about it every single day with a goal to get up 5 to 10 a day, depending on where you're at in your business. And I know some of you guys work full time. So, sometimes it's a little harder maybe to get those 10 up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I make it a goal to say, and like if you do that, you guys, like you're gonna notice big results if you're doing that every single day. And even if you're like, I'm gonna send out my messages asking people to put up a post for me in the evening before I go to bed. I'm sure like most of us, like I know I do, like scroll on our phones, doing things before we go to bed just to unwind. Tell yourself, like, and I do this for myself. I'll be like, I got to send out my 25 messages asking people to put up a post for me before I go to bed. Even if I have people that respond and say, yes, I'll do it, I don't even open the message until morning because that's going to give me something when I wake up in the morning. Then I can, even if it's 10 minutes, whatever it is, and while I'm drinking my coffee, watching the news, I can send out my post first thing in the morning. Do you guys know like how flipping amazing it feels to first thing in the morning get like 5 to 10 hosts to post up for the day? Like whenever I do that, I'm like literally like dancing around here like, I've just like won the lottery because I like it just feels good because now I know those posts are out there working for me. But like that's like something, guys, that is a task. That is a like resource for our business that like really is like a game changer. And you're not going to notice that if you're only getting 1 to 2 up a day or 1 to 2 up a week. You're not going to feel that like impact. You're not going to feel the like, Joyce just said, the compound effect of doing that if you're just doing 1 or 2 a day. Yes, doing some is better than none, but if you're sitting there then telling yourself, man, like I'm just not having the conversations, do that. Like tell yourself, like, okay, I'm just going to get up some more host to host. I'm just going to ask some more people. Because like if we're only asking like 5 to 10 people, realistically, you might get like 2 to 5 say yes. Like if you ask 10, you might get 2 to 5 that will reply. And that's like normal. That's not because your friends suck. That's because people don't want to help you. It's just kind of how it is. Person might reply in like 2 months and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'll put up a post for you." And I'm like, wow, thanks, Debbie. Which I'm still gonna give her a post, but some people just do that. But like that's just something to be thinking about. Like, so that's why we say ask 25, because of that 25, I feel like that's a good number to get 5 to 10 people to say yes. So and you got to figure out your sweet spot. Maybe for you it's 12 and you can get up 5. But really think about that as we finish out this month, because we're only middle of the month. So we still have a lot of time. And like I just know it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking you don't have anyone to talk to, nobody's in, like even myself today, I was like thinking, shoot, I haven't had like a new person message me in like a day or two about product. Like what the freaking heck is going on? But I also know that like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think I was telling Brianna, holy cow, I'm getting so many people messaging me for the first time. So I know that this is just like part of the business. Like, this is a fluke. This is a test. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? Am I going to stop doing what I know works because I'm having like a bad day or two? No, I'm going to keep doing the things that I know that work because I've been in this long enough. I've been through this long enough to know that you're going to have days where there's nothing, and then there's days that there's a lot, and days that there's not, that's part of it. Like, even 11 years in this business, I still have that. So just remind yourself and like tell yourself, like, I am committed to doing the things I need to do every single day. And everybody might look different. Like, your task list of what you're going to get done each day might look different than what mine is. That it's okay. But make yourself a list of like what you can do, what you want to do each day. And like really like have yourself a list, because it also is really exciting to be able to check those things off. But like, and think about like what would you like to have as like a win? Like, that's like something I feel like we need to think about too, like small wins. Because so often we're like, oh, I want to be this rank. Oh, I want to, get this much volume. But like, so we're looking like so far ahead that we're like, okay, we need to dial it back. Like, what is something that if you did it in the next 24 hours, that would make you feel really good about like good with how things are, good about your business, or feel proud of yourself? Would it be to get those host to post of? Would it be to ask
Yeah.
people to do if they would be interested in the business? Maybe you want to go live. Maybe you want to post about a product that you love. Like, whatever it is that you just feel like it's something that's been on your mind to do and you haven't done it. Or you're like, man, I really want to do this, but I haven't done it. Like, think about what that small win would be. And then like tell yourself, like, and commit to yourself that you're going to do it in the next 24 hours. And it doesn't have to be an enrollment. It can be. You could be like, I want to sign up a Perks member in the next 24 hours. So you're going to do whatever the heck you're going to need to do to make that happen. Even if that means signing up your goldfish as a customer. Because listen, before I would have like signed up my cat as a distributor if they had a social. That's how like bad I'd be like, I'm signing somebody up today. But just think about what that is, you guys. Like, because I don't feel like we give ourselves enough credit for those small wins. We always base it off of our enrollments and things like that in our rank, which is great. But like sometimes we need that little step. We need that little oomph to like help us feel good and just to be like, okay, like I got this. So start thinking about what your small win would be. Like, what do you want to accomplish by the end of the day on Thursday? And you don't have to like tell anybody or anything. You can drop it in the chat if you want to, if you want some accountability. But like, just think about that. And you might not know right now. But like, set like small goals. And then as you accomplish that, you're probably realistically going to be like, okay, I'm going to do it again. Or, you wanted to get up 20 or 10 host to post. And so you sent out 40 messages in the next 24 hours to get that up. Well, guess what? You have 15 people that say they'll put up a post for you. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get, you don't even know what your actions can do. So that's one of the things to be thinking about. Like, I feel like I'm really like rolling around over here on my agenda. So we talked about being consistent. We talked about, your small win. Another thing to think about, and I want you guys on here to all commit to doing this, is talking more about a product that you love. That you love. So like sharing the results are great. Sharing like what products we offer is great. But I want you to think about a product that you love. And even if you're not using it, like maybe you're like, well, I really think the coffee is great.
It's hard to pick one though, Lindsay.
What?
I said it's really hard to pick one though.
Well, right. And you can pick more than one if you want to, but like pick one that you love that you can be shouting out, even if it's every other day. Like, I love the gummies because blank. And post a picture of the gummies. It can be a before and after picture. It can be like a result, whatever it is. It can be you with your gummies. But say, I love the gummies because I love the hair, skin, and nails because I love our smoothie because like Sharon drinks our smoothie every single flipping day. Like most of us are using something and we love it, but we don't talk about it enough. And I'm even guilty of it too. Like, I drink our coffee every single morning. And so, and that's so silly because like that's just something like we love it enough to drink it every morning, but we don't love it enough to talk about it all the time. Like how silly is that? So yeah, Joyce just had a cup. Oh my gosh, if I had coffee like this late in the day, I would be up for like 3 days.
Oh, not me.
Yeah, Jenny's having, yeah. Um, so talk about a product you love, you guys, because that's gonna help to pull people in. That's gonna help not even it maybe just for that product, but also showing people that you are excited about these products. So excited that you like to use them. And that's just going to help to pull people in. But just pick something that you love. And like I said, even if for some reason you're going through something right now and you're not able to use the product, share one that you think is really amazing and why you think it's so amazing. And like why you think other people should use it. And, and then make yourself a goal to be like, I want to be able to use this, at some point. But be talking about that also. Also, another thing that I was just thinking about as I was talking about products we love is like something that I'll do sometime, and this is like so like off left out of left field from where I was just at, but like sometimes if I post something like about a product but the post isn't like a before and after picture, maybe I'll post a picture of like the gummies and I'll like say my things. Well, I like to go in the comments and like drop a picture, like a results picture in the comments. And like, or maybe sometimes I'll do two, or if it's a wait list, I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like that like helps. Even if there's no comments
Somebody
on it
was just
yet.
talking about how that helps
Yeah.
boost that algorithm.
And yeah, and so that's like something I'll do. And sometimes I feel like right after I post, I'll go do it. And I don't know if it's like the initial, like how it triggers like comments coming like right away or whatever it is. But for some reason, I always feel like that goes really well. So that's like something to think about too. Um, And even if it, say it's a post that you've seen before and it was like Savannah's before and after, you could even in the comments put like, so happy for Savannah and drop her picture or whatever. Because, then another thing when people are going to go comment, they're going to be able to see that before and after picture too. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why, but I just feel like sometimes that like makes a difference to do those kinds of things. Does I know I'm like rambling. Does anybody have like any questions about anything or anything you would want me to go over while we're on here? Because I know we have a couple of people that hopped on since I said that before. Or now that I rattled on, maybe something I said made you think of something. Anybody? Somebody? I can't even call her. She's like losing her voice. Or she's really been pretending
Just
to
like
lose
soaking
it
up the
to like keep
knowledge, Lindsay.
on.
Okay.
What?
I said, I just like soaking up the knowledge. You're doing great.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like to talk the whole time. But um those were just things that I was like thinking about that were kind of like on my mind. Another thing, and like, we talk about this often is, being excited about the business and the opportunity for the business. Again, we all are so excited. We all love being a part of it, but we don't talk about it enough. And so it can even just be something as simple as because of it works, I get to. Like I remember that was a thing like years ago, Pam Souter was a part of the company and um she always used to talk about, or maybe it was Cindy that said it. I don't know, Pam or Cindy. But instead of saying like I have to do this, to switch it and say I get to. And that's like something like, making it like
One of
it.
those little mind shifts.
Yeah, like instead of, oh, I have to go, walk my dog, I get to go walk my dog. Or, I have to take my kids to the doctor. I get to take my kids to the doctor. Just things like that because, it really is a blessing that you get to do those things. And whether it be because of the business or not, like, but just things like that. But just being excited and sharing what the business is doing for you. And even if you're in a position where you're not maybe making the money you want to be yet, or maybe you just started and you're like, well, I haven't even got my first paycheck. Just even talking about, maybe the support system that you're finding, the resources, the friends that you've made, just the positive, whatever it might be. Maybe you have a lot going on in your life and this is like an outlet for you to think about something other than what you have going on. Because people are joining for all different reasons. Not everybody has the same reason that they want to be a part of this business. Also, another thing that just popped into my head as we're talking to people, don't ever like prejudge anyone. Don't ever think, oh, this person isn't going to want to be a part of this because they already, are really successful. They seem really busy. They're not going to have time to do this. Like, it's not our place to determine whether or not someone gets to know about this opportunity. Like, it's our job to make sure that people know about this. And it gives them the option to say yes or no. Like, your waitress, when you go to a restaurant, she doesn't come up and be like, oh, I'm not going to ask that table if they want an appetizer because they don't look like they're going to want it. Or, oh, there you don't look like they're trying to spend like extra money. You know what I mean? Like, no, they still ask you. They ask every single one because you never know who's going to say yes and who's going to want it and who's not. And like, we need to have that same like kind of like approach. Is it's just our responsibility to share it with every single person that we talk to that we can. It's then their responsibility to decide whether or not they want information. Like, the worst thing they're going to say is like no, or really the worst thing they might say is like laugh at you and be like, you're an idiot. And then you just get to be like, really, you're the idiot, but thank you. Have a good day. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the worst thing that they're going to say. But like, I've just heard so many stories over the years of people that were like, you know, I saw my friend doing this and she didn't ask me. Like, shoot, even the other day, last night, Peggy was on here and she was talking about her daughter, who one of her friends saw her post that she did, and she was like, hey, like, I don't know why you haven't asked me to do this yet. And like, her daughter was like, dang, like, I didn't even think about asking her, but now I will. And it's just like, you never know who could be interested. So just throwing out there, if someone likes your post about the opportunity, hey, Sally, I saw you liked my post about, my side gig. I don't know if you'd be interested, but I'd love to can I share some info with you? Like, I remember someone taught me that years ago, like, if you just say, can I share info? I feel like it seems like people are much more receptive to that, or saying, would you be interested? Just coming out and saying, oh, can I, I saw you collect my thing. Would you be interested in doing what I do? Well, they don't flip and know because they don't know what it is. But it's like, hey, I saw you comment on my post about what I do. Can I send you some info real quick? Most of the time, people aren't going to say no to info because it's just info. And I feel that most of the time, like, people just don't even understand like what we do. So sometimes when people say no, it's because they think they know what we're doing or what we're talking about, and they have no clue. So even just being able to give them that little bit of info has the potential to be like, oh dang, like, I didn't even realize that's what this was. Or, man, that was totally different than what I was expecting her to say. But like, we have to have the conversations to get to the point of people saying yes. Like, I know that's one of the big things. And I know people always feel like signing distributors is the hardest part sometimes. But a lot of times I feel like it's because we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk the business enough. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have the conversation. We don't even give people an opportunity to say yes. Like, I think, and I don't know if it was like Cami before that always said, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And that always plays in my head. And I always tell my kids about that with stuff. Like, they'll be like, Mom, can we like, go out to eat tonight? I'm like, no. I'm like, but hey, thanks for asking. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And they're just like, the answer is always no, even if we do ask. And I'm like, whatever. Sometimes that's how it is. But I just remind myself of that. So just like reminding yourself, I know some of the things can be scary. Smoke detector is like beeping, and literally this is like a whole thing. That, can be one of the hardest things, but sometimes it's just, you never know, like, having the conversation who might be ready. So just maybe start stepping out of the comfort zone in that too. If you feel like, man, I really want to sign some people, but I don't know what to do, and you look at your page and you like, don't ever talk about the business. And it's like, well, okay, maybe that's an easy thing I can start doing. And, we try in the posting pod to share opportunity posts in there every day too, just to kind of give you guys a little bit different. We just got paid. screenshotting your pay portal email and putting it on a picture and just saying like, woohoo, like just got my first It Works payday, or just got had my first payday, or whatever you want to say, my second one, whatever, and be like, I'm so excited. This extra money is going to help me XYZ. Just sharing what it's going to help you do, because you don't know who's watching you that might be in the same position and be like, dang, like she just made extra money to like buy her kids like some extra school clothes or some shoes for school. Like, I wish I had extra money to do that. So just letting people know like what their options are, what the possibilities are, is something that we can think about. So, does anybody, before we get off of here, have questions? I know I already asked, but I want to ask one more time because it's 8:30. So does anybody else have anything they have questions about, they want to share, that they think works really great? Joyce, are you trying to talk?
I had a question, but not about what works. It was a question, so I'll wait.
Oh, you can ask a question about whatever you want.
The
Listen, at this
posting,
point, I'm opening the floor.
the posting pod, is that the chat we have?
It's called Posting Pod.
Where is it?
Let me see
It's
it.
in the messenger.
I
Please.
don't think I'm in that.
I don't think you are, but I'm gonna add you really quick.
How
Yeah,
does that
we
work?
just put 3 posts a day in there, like at different times throughout the day. And it's just for ideas. You don't even have to do them when we put them in there. You don't even have to use all the ones we put in there. But like me, Brianna, and Mandy puts them in there every day just so people have options. And maybe you're in a play and like, oh, you got a crazy day. And
It's
you're like,
great when you have to get one in quick because your time is that big.
yeah.
The
And don't have time to think
posting,
about it.
you boost for each other though, and that's in the Success Squad
Mhm.
page,
The post
right?
ladder. Yes.
And so we need to make posts public so we can go do that.
Yes.
And we can do that throughout the day for each other. Or do you want that done at a certain
No,
time?
just whenever you have time. You can do it when I drop it in there. Whenever you have time. There's not a certain time that you need to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else?
Now,
Brianna?
I was excited. I got a new PM last night.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She was first looking at just the burn, but we managed to get her to a caffeine-free 30-day drop.
Heck yeah, that is amazing.
And ran into a friend of mine in the grocery store today after work that I haven't seen in a while. And she was talking about how, they just bought their house and she's getting married in October and she's got all this things going wrong with her vehicle and stuff. And it's like, I didn't stay quiet. I actually opened my mouth and talked about the business.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
that
she
was
probably
exciting.
didn't tell you you're an idiot because you did that.
No, she did not.
Yeah, and see, and you feel, I can tell just by the way that you're acting that you feel really good, the fact that you did that and you had that conversation and it wasn't
Yeah.
so bad. And look at you. And even if right now she's not like, yeah, I want to do it, you know that you planted that seed and you put that bug in her ear.
Yep, exactly.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
because she said she's gotten away from her Facebook and stuff like that, and social media and whatnot. But because that was the first thing I asked her, and if she'd been watching my page at all. And she's like, no, I got away from social media and all of that. And I told her what I was doing and told her how easy it is. And how much fun we're having and people I'm meeting and money that's starting to get better.
Yeah,
But
that is awesome. See? And you never know. It's kind of crazy whenever you can have these conversations sometimes because you probably were expecting to even do that.
Yep.
And you weren't like, oh my God, you're on my team, but you were just like casual conversation with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a good day.
Heck yeah. Anybody else before we close this out? Thank you guys for hopping on here. I know that it's a busy time with kids going back to school, kids starting school and stuff, but I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If there's anything you think of afterwards, drop it in the chat. You know, you can always message one of us and we'll be happy to help you. But I will see you guys later. Thank
See you
you.
later, Lindsay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.